What do I think to women who have time off school or work because of their periods? I think if you're in pain, you're in pain. And I think if we send young kids home from school when they have their periods, it's not, how can I put this, it is not helping them long term when they go into job. Period pains, they happen all the time, and it varies from person to person. Courts, and this is the thing, where I work, I am allowed to have 3 illnesses off before it leads into a disciplinary action. So if I had 1 day off every single month, I would lose my job. Employers are particular and they are really funny. They are really funny about us women having time off. And at the same time, it creates, if we have this as time off, it creates us as the sort of woman who can't take much pain. And I think in this day and age, most of us have to we have to get on with it. And for most of us, even though that we are in a bit of pain or a lot of pain, and we tend to take paracetamol, take it to work, have it in the lunch break or a dinner, and we get on with it because we don't have any other option. And actually, I was thinking about this, and I was thinking about it. It is commendable if you can work through pain to performing your job. I think that says a lot about you as a person. Because, okay, I'm in a bit of pain, or my head is hurting, because we don't wake up every morning with joys of spring. My head's hurting, or it's the time of the month. But we have work. We'd enjoy a day off, but we can't always have a day off. So we have to, I think some women, they are really, really moody. Or because they are just moody in general. No, I think some women cover up pain by being in a bit of a mood. So if your boss comes in, or I don't know, your supervisor comes in and they are really moody, probably nothing against you, they're just going to have a bad day for whatever reason. I mean, periods start when you are at school, and see, I don't necessarily want to talk about the pain. It's a couple of times, if periods are to the extremes, or where a woman is literally vomiting, because that's the worst I've ever heard happen to someone when they are on their periods. Because was it somebody told me a story about when they first started and how awful it was, because every time of the month they would literally go pale and in excruciating pain, and every once in a while they are actually sick. That is period pains to the extremes. I don't think employers would really want to send you home. I think if anything, depending on the type of job you've applied for and the sort of working environment that you are in, maybe you could sit down for 5-10 minutes and try and, I don't know, eat a chocolate bar, try and recuperate to then come back out again. You know, it's half it, you know, I mean, I know it happens every girl and every woman, but if it's not something that you can't suck it up and heal, you will find not a lot of employers are sympathetic to it. Not a lot of employers will be sympathetic to it, and I don't think it's a good idea to start getting the sympathy vote at work because of it. If it is literally to the extreme where you are being sick, then you might need to go home. Or I think with age you handle it better, whereas when you were 15-16 you'd go flying off into the toilets. When you're about, I don't know, late 20s, early 30s, you might be able to handle it better, and this comes down to another video I have made, a fake smile, and it really is gonna be a fake smile. You will literally have to grit your teeth and bear it. In the sort of work I do, I don't work behind the scenes. I don't work in a warehouse. I don't work, I work with dealing with all customers, and for a large part of my life, I've always dealt with customers. I've worked in restaurants, I've worked in cafes, I've worked in clothes shops. I'll tell you what, one thing that has helped is being on the move. The worst thing to do is when you have your periods is sitting down and doing absolutely nothing. The best thing is when you can be up and moving and doing at least something. Other than that, and taking a 5-10 minutes sit down and having your aspirin, or having a packet of crisps, or whatever it is that you actually need to do, it is better if you can get back out. Because as I have spoken about it, there is something commendable being in pain and working through it. By the end of the day, when it's home time, you can put your feet up and have a nice hot bath and a nice cup of coffee. But I think if you are sent away from work all the time, it actually makes you look unprofessional. But if people at work, and this is an if people at work are actually allowing you to have time off, and this is period pains to the extreme, where this person is physically being sick, then they can't do nothing about it. Or it's what happens when this person goes home and tells their mum and dad they literally can't cope because of that extreme, then I think there would be an angry backlash of people going, well, I have pains, we have pains, but we armour up and we power it through. And it's a tough one. It's a tough one because it happens to all of us. But I do think periods who are that to the extreme where you are physically being sick, then I think your boss or your supervisor should actually look into it. But if women are not growing up because of it, and these women will have to soldier on, because it happens to all of us and it's a fact of life. It's it's not pleasant, but we do need to push through it. It's like lifting up weights, like a kilogram, 2 kilograms, 5 kilograms. You keep on until that clock turns 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and then you can come home and be as lazy and as sloppy as you want. Or even order a takeout if you don't fancy cooking. Once a month, it's not going to hurt. But I think we should try and look professional and look like as if we are coping and we can cope.